Welcome. Greetings, clobberers. Hello there. Sorry for once again the late start getting to be a bad habit. But this time, well, it was for a good reason. No, it was for a dumb reason because I couldn't get everything put together in time. That's basically what it is. Trying to get everything in my presentation as close to halfway decent as I possibly can. Probably failing miserably at it, but what the hey, eh? Anyway, it's good to be here with all of you wonderful clobberers tonight. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for showing up. I see that we got a lively chat. Thank you. Great to see you, my friends. Again, apologies for being late, but welcome to Clobberin Times number 267 on YouTube, of course, number 967 overall. And getting closer to the big C. Here we are in the Christmas season. I hope you are all feeling the Christmas season and doing well out there, even if it is a Monday. Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk is here for you if you like comics. And if you don't, if you just like me jibber jabbering, can't imagine why you would, but if you do, you're just here to hang out with me. I appreciate you. Tonight, of course, I've put together a little thingy that, well, haphazardly, granted, but I'm going to try to make it halfway decent. This is number 3 here. This is wave 3 of the Mark C. Comics Creator Hall of Fame. And this is the big 3. Like I say, I enjoy doing this. It's just kind of this is a very grueling process that we go through here at Clobberin Times to make these choices. 10 inductees each time. The voting committee goes through just a rigorous months and months long process of deciding, and putting this thing together. Who's going to be on this list? Who's going to make it? We don't know. Well, you don't know yet, but the voting, the voters, I should say the voter, me, I do know. But before we get on with that, I'll tell everyone I'll be Wednesday night. I'm not sure what I'm doing Wednesday night. There may be a topic, may not, but I will be here. Maybe I'll just talk to you guys. Spinner Rack videos. Well, gotta get on that. Hopefully I'll have the Spinner Rack video in time Wednesday. Tomorrow night I'll be on as a guest with the great Nick on the great Nick Weiser's show. He does Toxic Tuesday nights where they review toxic, evil, horrible, masculine action adventure films from the 80s. And this month they started last week with Die Hard with a Vengeance, counting down to the big Christmas movie Die Hard. In the meantime, Die Hard 2, Die Harder will be tomorrow night, and I'll be proud to sit on that August panel where we will review that film. A whole bunch of us geeks who like the the toxic masculinity films. And then Wednesday night I'll hang out. Like I said, I'll hang out and do something. But more importantly, no Global Geek Gang this Thursday. A week from this Thursday, there will be the Global Geek Gang. Unless something crazy happens to stop, the Global Geek Gang will return, and we will have a little Christmas with the superheroes celebration there. In the future, hopefully soon, Loki and I will be reviewing some superhero Christmas cartoons. Maybe next week, I hope. We're putting that together now. And, of course, Clobby's Clubhouse will be here this coming Thursday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, same bat time, same bat channel. So let me say some hellos to all of you wonderful friends who are here before we get down to business. Steve Mitchum, what's up, bro? Good to see you. Always appreciate it. J-Man, what's up, buddy? The great Hungry Boy, great to see you, my friend. And the great D-Bud Martin. What a lot of greats here. Well, you're all greats to me, you clobberers. D-Bud, good to see you, buddy. The Comic Relief Crusader, welcome. Great to see you. Let's see here. Let me scroll. A lot of scrolling going on. Hang on. I had to push my chat all the way back because it was exploding on me. So many cool people hanging out with us and popping in, having a fun conversation. Look like I miss out on all the fun, don't I? Let's see. Scroll now. Chris Persia, what's up, my friend? Thank you for being here, buddy. Appreciate it. See who else. Chat was jumping so much, I thought there were like a zillion people in there, but this guy's having a good conversation. Snorter Poopers Cuber, what's up, buddy? Always a pleasure, bud. I hope this ain't gonna jump on me. I'm trying to get everyone. Eric K is in the Bronze Wrencher. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Always a pleasure, man. I'm glad to see you here. Hope you're doing well. Let's see here. Stuart Mitchell, Dolly ad braces, buddy. Good to see you. Kal-El, what's up, buddy? All right. Good to see you, my friend. There we go. The Catman, a.k.a. D.D. Myers. Hello. I hope you were doing well. Good to see you. Rolling. I just want to make sure I get everyone before we get on to business here. This thing's goes quite a bit back. Let's see here. I think I may have covered everybody already, but just want to make sure because it's still got a long way to go. Hang on, getting there, folks, getting there. This chat can tend to jump on you from the StreamYard side. Dadman, what's up, bud? Good to see you. I hope you and the Dadman clan are doing well. Hail, Mrs. Dadman. Let's see. Almost there, folks. Almost there. Stay on target. Eldritch Thrust Lord, I know who you are. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Canadian Spidey. Canadian Spider-Man. Canadian Spider-Man. He does whatever a Canadian spider can. Let's see here. Okay, I think I'm caught up now. And welcome anyone out there who if I didn't say hello to you or didn't see you there, it's because this thing jumped on me. I hope I didn't miss anyone. Yeah, so there we go. What I will do now is a brief recap, just a tiny one, to show you the original inductees from Wave 1 and 2. Again, this, of course, it's this Comics Creators Hall of Fame is named after our dearly departed great friend and comic book aficionado extraordinaire, Mark C., who I will put an M, and I know you guys have already put some M's, and I need to put one in there for him as well. The show, this comics show is, of course, always dedicated to him and his name, and I dedicated this Comics Creators Hall of Fame to him. And if he were with us, he would be. I probably would let him vote with me every time, but I don't know. I just even though this is just a person, what this Hall of Fame is a personal list, really. It's me I joke around a lot about it, but no one else gets a say in it but me. And it's I put in here the comic book creators, whether they're writers, artists, or whatever, editors or whatever, that I have a tremendous amount of respect for and want to celebrate. Some of these ones tonight will probably, they're guys that probably you could have seen them going in the first wave or the second wave. There's no pecking order to the waves necessarily, maybe a little bit, but in a wave itself, though, there's no pecking order. No one's before anyone. Sure, that pantheon of 10 is that for a reason. That pantheon of 10, is that for a reason. And there's my pantheon of the first 10. And so my first 10 inductees, the pantheon of 10, which I did, I think, back last February, something like that, February, March, I'm not exactly sure. Consists of course, the king of comics himself, of course, the great Jack Kirby. He sits atop it all. I'm very prejudiced in that way, I suppose. Definitely a bias there, I admit it. Steve Ditko, of course, joining him right there at his side. Also in there, the great Gil Kane, the great Will Eisner. If they're in my Hall of Fame, I consider them great, but like that. Over here, we have, of course, Alex Raymond. We have Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. We have Bill Finger. We have Joe Kubert, and we have Julius Schwartz. Phantom Outsider, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, buddy. You haven't missed anything, man. Just do that. And so that would be wave 1. Wave 2 it consists of, let's see here, Neil Adams, Bill Everett, Joe Simon, Kurt Swan, John Romita Sr., Gardner Fox, Wallace Wood, Bern Hogarth, Harvey Kurtzman, and Alan Moore. That is, of course, that is number 2 there. And so, without further, whatever we call it, it is about time to proceed. And there's a bot for you. Anytime these bots come in, I will nuke it. Block user. There you go. The bots are early, folks. Anyway, so now it's time to start with wave 3. And again, this tonight it's not in any particular order. Really, it's not so much that, because this is a guy you could argue what I got it the first up here is a guy that you could make a case who should be number 1 in a sense. And so my number 1, without further ado, is the Major Malcolm Wheeler Nicholson. Major Nicholson, Mark D with a C, the engineer. What's up, bro? If you ever feel, I know this is not your cup of tea necessarily, but you're willing to hang out with me if you feel like it, buddy. But if you're not, no biggie. Anyway, Malcolm William Nicholson, the Major. For those not familiar with this gentleman, he did something. He didn't do much. He just started the comic book. The first comic book, of course, he did not start, but the first comic book, Famous Funnies, number 1, there was actually a little one before that, sort of. That was full of reprints, cutouts from newspaper strips. This man not only created national Allied Publications, which became National Periodical Publications, which became DC Comics. He actually is responsible for the very first comic book with original material in it that wasn't a reprint of it, that wasn't full of reprints. The very first completely original. It was one before that. It had a couple of things in it from the 20s, but for the most of this guy invented the comic book with new stuff in it, new fun comics, in fact. And went on, for better or worse, whatever happened with National Periodical Publications and DC Comics. Yeah, it's neither here nor there. He went on to be a writer. He wrote a lot of pulp stuff. He wrote a lot of things, but basically, and I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it because it would take too long to go through all of it. We don't have it all night. We have 10 people to celebrate here, but you got to have a guy like that in your Hall of Fame because he started it all. The inventor of like I said, I probably should have just named, if it's named after our good buddy Mark C, but you could name a Hall of Fame after him. There are only 2 awards well known. The Kirby Awards they used to have, and I think they still have the Eisner Awards. And those 2 guys deserve awards named after them, but you could have had Wheeler Nicholson Awards, but it was a funny name. So anyway, so our first inductee for this evening in Wave 3 of the Clobberin Times Mark C Comic Book Hall of Fame is Major Malcolm Wheeler Nicholson. So I hope that meets with the approval. But guy got to go in there. He should have been in there a long time ago. My second one is a gentleman that we talked a good bit about a couple of weeks ago on Clubby's Clubhouse. How do you exclude for long a gentleman who was doing something that wasn't even before there was the term comic books or comic strips even, really? That would be Winsor McKay. This man, and again, unlike my buddy Steve Mitchum or my buddy Hungry Boy and others here, I am not an artist. Can't draw, as I always say, I say I can't draw flies, but I can still appreciate wonderful art and artists and innovators and just brilliant dreamers. And Winston McKay is a guy that his unbelievable imagination inspired so many others to start creating these pieces of sequential art that would later, for some reason, get the weird name, a name that stuck. Yes, he invented animation. That's true, Steve. He also invented this art form in the sense he wasn't the first one. Some say it was Alcott with the Yellow Kid, or a couple other, the Buster Brown, not strip but piece. This guy created moving panel comics. I think. I mean, I don't know who did it, who inspired it more than Winston McKay. Before they were called comic books or comic strips. So it's kind of a no-brainer. Look at this is over 100 years ago, folks. Look at the stuff that you would buy these. I guess it was in these newspaper supplements and different things like that. And these images are mind-blowing. And as Steve said, he also invented animation. This man was just phenomenal. And whether you have read much of his stuff or not, or you care for his stuff or not, you always have to honor the pioneers. I mean, and that's a term that doesn't even do him justice, really. So, yeah. Just an extraordinary boy, Hungry Boy is not for sure. Pete Greg Russell always reminded me of him, yeah. But a lot of people were inspired by this man, rightly so. So the great Winsor McKay, take a bow and accept your place in the Clobberin Times Mark C. Comics Creator Hall of Fame. Next up, we're going to go with another strip artist, and he was a genius as well, Hal Foster. Hal Foster was he was an extraordinary creator because, well, who doesn't? I mean, comic strips were big stuff for a long time. They were where comics dominated. For us, comic strips dominated everything. They were considered bigger than comics. And Foster was he was a master. And Prince Valiant is one of the most famous comic strips of all time. I don't know for sure, but I think they're still making it. Are they not? I mean, I think that it still sees print today, if I'm not mistaken. So his work speaks for itself, but actually, as much as Prince Valiant, as much as it's just important. I actually love his Tarzan strips. Have you ever seen any of his? I mean, again, some of his Prince Valiant almost seems like static images sometimes, rather than cartooning. Like I know any damn thing, but his Tarzan was just, well, it was out of this world. And sorry, I have a bit of a glitch here, folks. Hang on a second. Where are you? There you are. Sorry, I couldn't find my page there. But Hal Foster. All right, now let me get myself straight. Sorry about that, folks. A bit of a problemo there. Well, screw this thing up. I love his Tarzan work, but you have to acknowledge that the thing that made him most famous was his Prince Valiant stuff. Oh, the lovely Sherry. Hello there, Sherry. Thank you for being here. It's great to see you. Let's see. What's that, Steve? But who hasn't opened up a Sunday supplement newspaper to Prince Valiant when you were a kid? But his Tarzan strip is one of the greats as well. Up there with Bern Hogarth. So, all hail the great Hal Foster. Just an amazing, again, a legend, an absolute legend. And one of the comic strip artists that was definitely a household name. So, congratulations to the great Hal Foster. Yeah, like even if he were alive, he would care that he was in my Hall of Fame. But what the hell? In the Monday night Mark C Comics Talk, Clobberin Dimes Hall of Fame. Boy, I mangled my own name. So anyway, the great Hal Foster, ladies and gentlemen. And next up is a gentleman that we celebrated quite a bit the other night because of a tragic announcement that he made. We all know about the announcement that the great George Perez is one of the all-time just legends of comics made. His announcement about his condition. And it's sad. And so Mr. George Perez definitely belongs in any Hall of Fame when it comes to comic books. The master of the crowd scene, the master of the superhero artist. Oh, Retro Blasting. What's up, buddy? My great friend Retro Blasting. Love you guys over there. Hope you're doing well, man. You're the man. It's great to see you, my friend. Thanks for popping in, buddy. I'm honored to see you. And again, it's very sad about George Perez, as we discussed the other night when we were celebrating him after that sad announcement that he made. So here he is in making it into wave 3. He could have easily made it in wave 1 or 2. But again, I do 10 at a time. So here he makes it here in wave 3 of the Clobberin Times Mark C Comics Creator Hall of Fame, and it is well deserved. Just some of the most beautiful art you're ever going to see is in the superhero genre would be much poorer without the contributions of George Perez and the Bronze Age in particular. Just as I said, nobody could do the crowd scene like George. Mark D with the C says, I had a friend who bought John Cullen Murphy's house on one of the later artists on Valiant, and he closed, and I was teasing he didn't get any artwork for the closing. Yeah, well, look. Thank you, Phantom Outsider. Appreciate that. That's true. Now they have truly reached comic book immortality now that they're in the Clobberin Times Mark C Hall of Fame. So, but yeah, Mark, that's amazing, dude. Yeah, it'd been nice if we found some Hal Foster art in there. So again, folks, the great George Perez. So George, let's hope that diagnosis turns out to be wrong, sir. Next up, in wave 3 of the Mark C Clobberin Times Comics Creator Hall of Fame is the great Roy Thomas. Now, for Roy Thomas, you can't put one picture of anything. The man, he did so much. I mean, it would, you know how much space it would take up to show all of the contributions to the wonderful art form that we love so much, strangely called comic books. It would it's mind-boggling if you really look into it, how much this man did. I was honored enough a few months ago to have my good buddy John Shimino on the show, who'd been on before. He is, of course, he does management where he manages and agent work for Mr. Thomas, who was a comic book legend, who's created and or written and not just characters but concepts, for including help to one of the guys who created the comic book fanzine, and along with Jerry Bales and some other ones. But he had that his famous fanzine and as a kid called Alter Ego. It is not. We had to do a whole stream on it a few months ago that gives you more perspective on the contributions of Roy Thomas to comic books, and they're so considerable. I mean, you really can't. It would take tons and tons of pictures. Retroplastic, Dave Thomas. Roy Thomas not only created a lot of characters, of course, but he had an extraordinary. He was an editor for both Marvel and DC. He wrote so many comics, and of course, Roy Thomas is really, obviously Robert E. Howard created Conan. But Roy Thomas is almost single-handedly responsible for getting Marvel Comics to bring Conan to the comic book art form, which made Conan, which was a resurgence in the popularity of Conan. And we don't even get the Schwarzenegger movie without what Marvel was doing with Conan. And Steve, which I thought Stanley created Conan. So it's pretty considerable. And Roy Thomas, of course, is one of the few people to make any of my wave list so far that is still with us. Fortunately, still with us. And I only got to meet him once a good while back. But yes, Roy Thomas, he's a Marvel legend. He's a DC legend. He's just, again, I cannot do it justice here because if I went into it, and we did it on our stream. If I went into it, it would take too long to go through the accomplishments of Roy Thomas, but he is a comic legend, and has made his. I could go on about the man because I am a big fan. So there you go. Anyway, Roy Thomas. Let's see here. The now in the Clobberin Times Mark C. Comics Creators Hall of Fame. And next up, hit a button wrong. Next up is the eldest of the Buscemas, Mr. Big John Buscema. Because you know what? Damn it, this man, almost in a sense, sort of the Kurt Swan of Marvel in a sense. He, along with John Romita Sr., who made it into my second wave, just one of the staples throughout the Bronze Age of comics. I like Sal, his brother. You never know. Sal might make it one day. I like Sal. But John, my goodness. What a prolific. It's kind of funny. He was such a great artist on Avengers. The only comics he really liked drawing were Conan and Thor, but he was great on Fantastic Four and Avengers. It's just Big John. I love him. Wow. He could do it all. I know he didn't like to draw the superheroes that much, but he sure did it nicely, didn't he? Good God. And of course, one of the top Avengers artists of them all. And yet, as a companion piece to what we were just talking about with Roy Thomas, John Buscema helped, again, he was not the first artist on Conan nor the last for Marvel, but he was one of the most prolific of the Conan artists for sure. Big John didn't like being constrained by current day buildings and cars, which he said was why he loved Conan. Yeah, it's interesting you say that, Retro Blasting, because when I first started seeing Sal's art, and Sal's always been that way, very influenced by inkers, like some pencilers, like a lot of them really, but a good inker definitely makes or breaks just about any pencil, but especially Sal. Some of his Hulk, when inked, strangely enough by Joe Staten, whom I wasn't big as a penciler, but he inked him well. Ernie Chan when he would ink Sal Buscema, and when Sal Buscema had a good inker, especially on Hulk. But I like Sal, and of course I loved him on Nova. But I'm absolutely with you, and I do think John was better. I love me our pal Sal, who is still with us, I think. But yeah, that's true, D-Bud. He's more of a layouts kind of guy, Sal Buscema. But John, and again, I guess, is it because you artists in the crowd? Tell me, is it the fact that Sal and John were brothers, that their art was so similar? Is that like just the way is sort of how John and Marie Severin's arts is similar in some ways because they're siblings? I mean, is that how that works? You guys tell me. And that's true. Sal did some inking on Barry Smith before he put the Windsor in the Barry Windsor Smith. Yeah. Very, very good. But I like me some Sal, but John is my man, and John is the latest inductee into the Mark C. Comics Creators Hall of Fame. Next one is he's a tragic story, but an important story. And one of the greats for sure that never really got enough. I don't know, not enough love, I think. He did, but he just didn't live long enough. And it's a shame because this is one of the true tragedies and sort of, some say, mysteries of all of comics history. Is my next inductee, and that would be the great Jack Cole. Jack Cole was Sal's run on Spectacular Spider-Man had no inking and it looked like storyboard story. That's a good one, retro. But yeah, pretty much, yeah. Pretty empty stuff. Well, that was Jim Shooter was the guy, used to force everybody to kind of churn it out there, if you know what I mean. But Jack Cole was a master storyteller. Oh, you heading out, J-Man? J-Man, good to see you, brother. Thanks for being here, buddy. Jack Cole, what an unbelievably imaginative artist this guy was. His cartooning style, his panel arrangement, his extraordinary imagination, everything. Jack Cole was fantastic. I absolutely love his work. Well, Jack Cole did extraordinary work. Look at a page by Jack Cole. It's always busy. It's always imaginative. And that, Plastic Man was that kind of character. He's such a crazy, ridiculous character that you could do anything with him. He doesn't fit into any kind of based reality whatsoever. Yeah, no. Phantom Outsider, unfortunately, Jack Cole took his own life. But if you go back and who's that famous, well-known hoity-toity author, Thomas Pynchon, was obsessed with Jack Cole Plastic Man comics. Jack Cole did other stuff as well, but I mean, he was known for Plastic Man, but he did a lot, and just. Hello there, Mr. Gas Mask Animations. It's not inaccurate to say Jack Cole was an artist that continually stretched himself. You're on fire tonight, brother. Yeah. But I could look at his work all day. He was just, you look at these guys today, like they can't make these amazingly sophisticated and actually, of course, fun panels. Just astounding work. I think he also worked on the original, the Golden Age Daredevil, and a lot of other comics. So, yeah, that was a good one. Oh my God. Let's see here. He was a master storyteller. He was so imaginative. His panels popped off at you. I mean, they were always so busy. There was always something really crazy going on. Yeah. I love his stuff. Well, Stretch Armstrong was just, I mean, there were a lot of stretchy heroes. Comics Relief Crusader. I had a Stretch Armstrong, but I don't know about, I think it was just kind of inspired by stretchiness in general. But you never know because he was, That's true. It took 2 hours. It take 2 hours. Yep. It's very difficult to do any of these artists justice in the time I have here. So I just mentioned a little bit about him and move on as much as I can. So yes, Jack Cole, tragic story about his real life, but wonderful artist, amazingly talented cartoonist, and extremely imaginative. Just definitely gone before his time, and something of a mystery of why he. There's a story about something having an argument with his wife, and she just said that he killed himself. I mean, it's no one knows. So next up, oh, indeed, him in the chat. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate that. Next up, of course, is the great C.C. Beck. I know Phantom Outsider. It's about time. Shazam, Shazam, Shazam. And yes, I also know that he didn't do the art on Captain Marvel Jr. here. That's Mac Rayboy, and he didn't do the art on Mary Marvel right there. I understand that, but they're still all from him. All comes from the crusty curmudgeon. I used to like to read his articles in Comics Journal. He was a curmudgeoner. Always good to see you, Canadian Spidey. Mr. Gas Mask, should I 3D model a tank, a big tank, or a giant tank, or a disgustingly big tank? I like disgustingly big. I go with that one, buddy. Make a disgustingly big tank. You could do it. I believe in you, bro. It's good to see you there, little buddy. Aaron Baker. Hello there. Welcome. Good to see you, my friend. But what can you say? Disgustingly big it is. Well done, man. Excellent. He is going to be a professional animator. No question about it. CC. I don't know. Look, that's the real deal Captain Marvel right there. Nobody else gets this name ever. No one else. I love Marvel, but he doesn't rate that name. The Marvel family is special to me. And they always will be. They have, of course, they've really destroyed him. There's no such thing as the Marvel family anymore. Not in that stupid ass movie called Shazam. Not certainly the Screw 52 dumped all over him even more. And really, even before that, the way they were handling Billy Batson, with Billy Batson's mind inside of Cap's, Cap the Big Red Cheese's body, and there's all that kind of stupid crap where he didn't have the wisdom of Solomon. He's just some little kid inside the body. This is it right here. This guy once outsold Soups, and I love Soups the most. There's no question about it, but I love Captain Marvel. Thank you, CC Beck, for what you gave us. Just a wonderful imagination and a great character, a beloved character. And as I said, miraculously, Billy has become Captain Marvel. That's right, folks. Billy has become Captain Marvel. Because that's who he is. You know who's not Captain Marvel? Even Marvel, whom I love, really, you could almost get away with it because I like him, but nobody else is. And certainly not that MCU dribbler. So, anyway, CC Beck, ladies and gentlemen, and our next inductee is a gentleman who just passed relatively recently, who is a legend, and he's another one that's difficult to show all the things he did. It's a sort of intangibles because he was not an artist. And that is, of course, Mr. Dennis O'Neil. But if you measure the accomplishments of Dennis O'Neil, I mean, this is a guy, as much as look, you know me, I love and live off of Adam West Batman. I love him, but this is the guy that did bring back the along with Neil Adams and Batman, the legendary Batman number 251, the Bat and Joker's Five-Way Revenge. He brought back the darker Bat. His Hard Traveling Heroes series, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, with Neil Adams, is a classic. And, of course, he even gave us Kryptonite Nevermore, but he did so much more than that. This guy, again, if not Roy Thomas level, pretty close to amount of prolific in terms of his writing. And, of course, as an editor, was responsible for so much more that we could know. And he did. Look, the Hungry Boy, that's exactly right. He changed comic storytelling forever. Denny O'Neil was just a great editor all those years at great editor and writer, at DC and then at Marvel. He collaborated, of course, with Neil Adams for some great comics. His Hard Traveling Heroes is a legend. And look, rose-colored glasses in a sense, because I look back at the writing and some of the scripting and dialogue and some of the philosophy in this comic, and I laugh at it and disagree with it and all that stuff, but it's some great art, and it is an undeniable classic, even if I don't agree with some of the things in it. But hey, Oliver Belamonte, good to see you. Yes, that's true. And yes, he gave us Ra's al Ghul. What a classic. And Denny O'Neil is just a legend. And I was sad to see him go about maybe like a year or so ago now, or whatever it was. Should the Tank be Diesel Punk or Atom Punk? Now, I don't know much about that sort of thing, Mr. Gas Mask, but I bet you someone in this chat will have an opinion on that. I bet you. Anyone who could advise our good buddy, Mr. Gas Mask Animations. Of course, as we know, he is the son of our wonderful and dear departed buddy, Mark C. And we're always happy to see him here. And, yeah, I don't know what either of those are, though, Mr. Gas Mask. Exactly. So there you go. Always Adam Punk. I knew you'd get an opinion. I knew someone would have something to say on that. So, ladies and gentlemen, the great Dennis O'Neil. Yeah, definitely, in my opinion, and I'm the only voter, a worthy addition to the Clobberin Times Mark C. Comics Creator Hall of Fame. And next up, and we're getting close, let's see. This is our, there we go. Not close. We are at our final inductee for the evening, folks. It doesn't take long. Because, again, if you went all out and really went elaborate on any of these people would take forever. And I'll recap them, of course. So our final inductee for the evening, folks, is Mr. Bernie Wrightson. And, of course, I love his work. And also a tribute, again, our great buddy Mark C. loved Bernie Wrightson. It was one of his favorite artists. Rightly so. This man, he did a bit of comics, but it wasn't like he did, the kind of output that a Roy Thomas or, of course, he's an artist, but I mean, Roy Thomas or Denny O'Neil, somebody like that in the field. But he did a lot of great stuff. And what he did was classic. With his work with Lin Wein on the early 70s, Swamp Thing, some of the most critically acclaimed, rightly so, comic book work the field has ever seen, especially at that time. Bernie Wrightson's art is just staggering, beautiful stuff. Just a master of comic book art, a master. And he wasn't, and I was fortunate enough to get to meet him. A very nice gentleman, absolutely. Hungry boy. Yes, very nice man. Love his stuff. Love his Swamp Thing, and it's yeah, he did. He worked. Yeah, he did some Warren stuff as well. I was so busy, I didn't get a chance to put up as many examples of art of his and others that I would like to. So, his Frankenstein work is just magnificent. Absolutely, just astonishing stuff. It was just incredible. And our good buddy Mark loved his Frankenstein. He had one of those big, fancy special edition of his Frankenstein work. Isn't that just? I mean, it's just astounding stuff. Yeah, mind blowing stuff indeed. Absolutely, Mark D. I always loved his the Marvel graphic novel he did in the 80s. The big change, the Hulk thing team up. I always loved it. What a great! It was just fun stuff. And he did he doubled Judy on that one. He wrote and drew it. And I've always just really loved that thing. Yeah. Just trying to find some of the art from that there. Oops. But he also did this graphic novel around the same period, Spider-Man Hooky. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that one. Hungry Boy says, I gave the special edition to my mom. It was one of her favorite gifts in her life. Are you referring to the Frankenstein, the Frankenstein reprint? I had a normal trade of that as well back when it came out. I still have it somewhere. Yeah, this graphic novel Hooky by Wrightson was just, I mean, so just really weird fun. Just something you don't expect to see him do a Thing Hulk story. You don't expect him to see him do a Spidey story. But it was terrific. Oh wow, the hardcover, huh? Oh my goodness, that's great. That's amazing. That hardcover, $100. Wow. I have a normal little reprint of it. But this was a fun book. If you ever just want to read something that's silly, dopey, fun, but Thing in the Hulk, it was pretty cool. So yeah. Um, let's see here. Bop, 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 bop. Let's see. Probably knew this, but I just discovered that Superman did an appearance with the Fantastic Four. Yes, there was a Superman Fantastic Four crossover. Only if you feel like it, dude. Only if you feel up to it. Because, yes, there was that crossover. So, anyway. But yes, these gentlemen all made extraordinary contributions to this art form that, that we love so much. And, by the way, I think that was Dan Jurgens or someone that did that one Canadian Spider-Man, that Superman, and FF. I liked that it was Treasury Edition size. I thought the art was okay, but I remember at the time, and this is what I was, just the way I am when it comes to my characters. It was post-burn Superman plus. I hate those FF. I really, especially at the time, hated those the FF costumes, the ones with the white trim. Yeah, I know. Dumb reason. But that's me. Well, you were too kind, Hungry Boy. Thank you for that. Thank you indeed. Wave 4 is going to be tougher, I guess, because, we've gotten most of the giants. Oh, I think I had a misprint. Yeah, Comic Relief Crusader. I really hated when Byrne changed the FF costume, especially for the dumb reason he did, which was he just felt like it. So he said, "Oh, we brought them out of the the negative zone, changed the color of their costumes." Oh God. Yeah, I mean, look, I've softened up on him a little bit now, but at the time when I saw that on the comic, I'm like, ugh. Hey, that's 70s rock star. What's up, brother? Good to see you, sir. Hey, dude. Hope I didn't catch you busy. What's up, man? I didn't catch you busy or anything, did I?
No. I was just watching the show. I was organizing my movie server, fixing up all my Star Trek titles, doing boring stuff like that, enjoying the chat. And,
you might as well be bored over here then.
No, I'm never bored watching you. I got this great stuff, and always learn something because I'm more of like a consumer. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a how would you classify it? Like kind of wouldn't recognize all the artists that you do, but just enjoyed collecting and have some of my favorites. But
not everybody's into that aspect of it. Yeah.
No, but you're I know you hate saying you're an expert, but
I'm not an expert.
All right,
Hungry Boy's an expert.
All right, a little bit more than the average bear.
I know a little here and there, but then I don't know.
Yeah.
Thank you, though. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I guess it's just a love of mine. I love all the inside back baseball stuff of comics history, and I always, I don't know. I guess I've looked at so many comics, read so many comics. I love how the differing art styles and the storytelling, the art form. So I like I don't know. It became kind of a fun thing, spotting who drew what.
Yep.
Or trying to guess who drew what, that sort of thing.
No, it's really cool that you can. That. I mean, there's obviously some artists I can recognize, and I've collected for years. But and it's interesting to learn about some of these pioneers that like Colin and some of the people you mentioned that you kind of see the names, you've seen the art, but you never really known about them or seen what they've done or really read into it or because you've read all those comic book journals, and it's kind of like if you're a historian, say you love the Civil War, you try to read everything about the Civil War. So it's fun to learn that stuff, and you can kind of see what they're doing and what the artist is. When we had you had Steve Mitchum on, and he was describing how an artist works, and with all the way the lines work and your eyes go. And I mean, as a layperson, you don't you're like, you don't know any of that stuff, but then when someone like that who's an expert explains, you're like, oh wow, that does make sense. That's why that works, and some other stuff doesn't work. But when I'm looking, I'm like, oh, that just looks crummy. And then Steve Mitchell would describe it technically, like, well, this is why it doesn't look good, So that's
he is
stuff.
an artist.
Yeah,
he's an artiste and an animator for sure. So that's always cool. Let's see who we have here. Great Scott. Oh, there's one. You got it? Wow, you got faster than me then.
I happened to
actually, I see it. I saw it this time though.
I mean, I guess you're getting popular. I don't know.
I blocked them now, so. Yeah. That's happening to everyone. Seeing that just about everywhere I go now. Stupid bots. So, let's see here. Two. What's it? Question: should the tank? I like how our buddy Mr. Gas Mask is asking for is talking about his animated world. See, question: should the tank be more light or dark or on color scheme? I'll leave that question to our animator supreme, Steve Mitchum.
Yep, and Hungry Boy, I'm sure, has got some. Both of those guys are experts. Yep.
So, just to recap, then we can do other comics things, of course. Our inductees are as follows. Once again, everyone, if you're just joining us for the Wave 3 of the Clobberin Times Mark C. Comics Creator Hall of Fame, our Major Malcolm Wheelam Nicholson. And this guy, I mean, it's almost embarrassing to have him in number 3 because he made the comic book. I mean, well, he didn't make the concept entirely. The first one was, Famous Funnies, was a year or two before that, but that was all strips cut up from comic strips in the newspapers and put into, in the comic form. But still, that was sort of the first comic book. This is a guy who came up with the idea of putting new stuff in a comic, though.
So, now, who was the actress that my brain that was on the show?
Dana, the actress Dana Wheeler Nicholson, she was in the movie Fletch, the movie Tombstone, amongst other things, was his granddaughter.
Okay, yep. Yes, I remember you mentioned that. And you were the only, of course, you the non-expert, are the only person that recognized. It
was just because of her name. I know. I've been to a couple cons, not too recent, fairly recently, where his daughter, or one of his other granddaughters, has like gone to cons, because of the name, riding the name. Yeah, so it's weird. But so he gave us new fun comics. Look, he didn't even know what to do, so he just put a strip on the cover.
Well, hey, when you're first, right? I mean, why not?
I think they later
saved the page, right?
Yep.
So who had the first technically called, the first comic strip? Is that's in a newspaper?
First comic
I guess?
strip, you mean?
Would be considered in a.
Some consider it to be. That's an interesting question. F something or other. Alcout was the guy's name who created a character called the Yellow Kid. Let's see. Let me find the Yellow Kid. The Yellow Kid is considered to be the first comics. Not like a strip; it's a panel.
It's a panel, but it's in a was in a newspaper, probably.
Something Buster Brown. The Buster Brown panel was first. It was in a news. Let's see here. It's been a long time. What's that guy's name? Something Alcout. Now I want to know. See, you had to ask me.
I got you.
I got to refresh my stupid memory.
I remember the Yellow Kid now that you mention it.
Although it could have been Buster Brown was first. The Yellow Kid.
We're not supposed to Google, but don't tell the cow.
Well, yeah, we're supposed to DuckDuckGo, I guess, but RF Alcout was again, that was considered the first comic, but Hungry Boy might think it's a different one.
So it said it was a New York World, and later William Randolph Hearst.
Yeah.
Rosebud, aka Rosebud, New York Journal. Yep. So 1895 to 1898. Yep.
If you could call it a comic.
Yeah, it's more like panels, right? I'm looking at it now.
Yeah. And Buster Brown's another one. I don't know if that was first. And that's true, Phantom Outside. That's where the term yellow journalism comes from. So, and again, it's so weird when you think about it. I've always thought it was kind of strange that we call these things comics now.
Yeah.
Because number two, this is our second inductee for the evening, Winsor McKay, whom we've been talking about a lot. They weren't called comics at this point, I don't think. I mean, if they were, I don't remember them being. Of course, Yellowcut was there, but I don't remember reading them calling comic books comic strips or anything. It's not really a strip. What McKay was doing was whole pages, but they were paneled though.
Yep.
He was using panels to tell a story, and what kind of drugs he was on, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, some of that stuff looks current today. I mean, obviously, if you could look a little dated, but if you didn't pay attention to it, you could say, someone you'd say, someone as Spock would say was on a lot of LDS.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just insanity, but it was beautiful and it was brilliant and it was so imaginative. It was insane. Little Nemo and Slumberland. And again, that wasn't like Yellow Kid. That was moving. That was panels and stuff. So, I mean, and I'm calling them, we only call it comics now because somehow, some way, the funny papers, because they were meant to make people laugh, it just caught on the word comic meaning comical, and somehow, some way they became comics.
Yeah, because it doesn't fit, right? It doesn't fit, right?
It never really made a lot of sense to me.
Graphic novel, or I guess is used. People just call them floppies or books now too, right? I guess, but
well, graphic literature. Let's see, Scott McCloud. Called. It's basically it's a sequential art, as Will Eisner's called it. It's Scott McCloud in a book called Understanding Comics, called it Juxtaposed Pictorial Images in Deliberate Sequence.
Yeah, I love that.
That's a mouthful. Yeah. It's hard to answer, Clobby, because cartoons split into comics and cartoons, like the ancestor of wolves and wildcats. Yeah, it's just a strange thing with the. I mean, you'd think Raquel would definitely not approve because it's a bending of the language to call them comics. Their graphics, their images being telling stories, but what are you going to do? Still, they are. I love them, whatever they are. And then there's number 3, and here's our recap, folks. We're going back over them again for those who missed. Hal Foster, someone you know a little bit about.
Yep. And and Prince Valiant, is ever present too. I mean, you read him as a kid, and I always loved reading the Sunday comics. Yeah, it's still being made. Yep. So and they had other artists that took over, and it's still so it was Cullen Murphy had taken it over for a while, and then his son. I could be mixing up names, but
I've seen that name before. I think I know that name.
So it was a father and son that were working on it for a while. So I'd mentioned in the chat, one of my buddies they'd bought a house that was I'm like, oh, that's the artist for Prince Valiant. He's like, well, they kind of mentioned he was an artist. I'm like, and that's what's joke. I said, you didn't get any artwork or anything.
Yeah, because it's Hal Foster. You didn't try to steal some art. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. I'm sure he had some Hal Foster, Hal Foster art there too. Yeah. So I was saying too, there was like a beautiful room you could tell where the studio was. It was like windows on all 3 sides and like a skylight. So especially artists love having all kinds of natural light. So that's really, really cool. Have a place like that, and I could see where that'd be perfect. Yeah, but they weren't comic book fans, or not that they were looking down it, but like, really, tell me about tell me about them. Yeah, I'm like, well, when you get the Sunday paper, look at the Prince Valiant strip, and then you'll realize. Yep. So
that's crazy.
On 70s Rock Fan just hit 200 subs, so congrats, 70s.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yep.
All right, everyone, please, if you have not already, go sub to my buddy, That 70s Rock Fan.
Way to go.
Even if you weren't alive in the 70s. But if you were, that's understandable. Because he was alive in the 70s and the 60s and the 50s and the 40s. I hear he's old. Just kidding.
Yeah, some good old music. Yeah, he's had some good videos lately on the Kinks, which is one of my favorite groups too. That kind of gets overlooked a little bit. But when Jethro Tull finally gets in the Rock Hall of Fame 70s, I'll buy you dinner. That's dinner for everyone, or drinks for everyone. Yeah, they're never gonna get in. That's another one of my favorite bands. But yeah.
You don't think they'll get in?
I don't. Well, it's going to be a while. Well, they should have been in already, but I don't want to derail the chat. But that's just an aside. Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Well, we're talking comics night now.
Oh, I got you. Well, yep. So that's Hal Foster. No, it's okay. I'm the one that stopped. Actually, I was trying to fix something on one of my pictures that I messed up. He was now again. Artwork, yeah. He used Foster didn't really use cartooning or sequential art that much. I mean, maybe he did a little bit, but if you look at it, it looks like static images, like an illustrated story. Almost, I've always thought. I mean, it's beautiful art.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a scene, basically scene to scene to scene. You're saying versus it.
Yeah, I mean, he used panels, but it didn't flow like a Kirby or somebody like that. And again, I actually love his Tarzan stuff. His Tarzan stuff did though a little bit more.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But it still didn't. It's still static images in a kind of sense. It's not a knock. I mean, look, the guy was a master. But that's what comic strips kind of called for too. They weren't the same thing, as comics. We weren't the same, just with the same deal. And next up, of course, is a gentleman we did pay tribute to the other night, George Perez. Wow! And again, we all hope that diagnosis turns out to be wrong. He was amazing.
They hope he has much longer lifespan than they're saying, but it's a real shame. And I've been following him on social media. So he was out at a restaurant having a meal with his family, and so he's everyone should reach out and even just drop him a note or well wishes. Like it's on the links are on social media. I'll try to find it or post it, but that really helps people's state of mind too, just to know, as he said in that letter that we read, that people reaching out to him and telling him how much they appreciate what he's done over the years. That's got to be really nice for him to have that, have those messages. Yeah,
absolutely, and he's definitely a worthy inductee.
Oh yeah,
any comic book Hall of Fame. My goodness, I mean, like I say, he's one of those. If you say, all right, you get to have, I don't know, for example, you get to have an Avengers story or a Justice League story, or whatever.
Yeah,
and you get to pick the writer. And then you get to pick the artist. And you get to pick the lineup too. Anybody you want in the story. I'm gonna have a field day with the lineup. I probably know. I could figure out how I would want that to go. The writer I could pick. The one that would take the least amount of time to make the decision would be Perez. For that, and you know how I'm about Kirby. I love Kirby. If it's an FF story, the only difference if it's FF, it's going to be Kirby. But except for the FF, if it's Avengers or Justice League, I'm picking Perez.
Yep.
Just
no, he's up there. Yeah.
And I would love to have him do I would love to have a dream team. Like I say, by the time they did this Avengers JLA crossover, I was kind of aggravated with them, and they had a lot of their main groups where they had what's his face.
But who would be your dream team for the Avengers that you'd have Mr. Perez draw?
Like the team up. Well, I would have it this way. This is as close to the way I would have it. If it were a JLA Avengers team up, you mean, or just the Avengers?
Or just Avengers, if you had to pick your. That looks like who would you pick?
This is the way I would want it for either one. Except
at the time,
Avengers. I hated She-Hulk at the time. I wouldn't want her in there. You could kick She-Hulk out of this and Star Fox and Captain Marvel out there. At the time, I didn't like her. I didn't. Yeah, she was Captain Marvel at this point, though.
Yep.
I didn't really like her either because I was mad at what they did to Marvel. I mean, she's fun. Monica Rambeau. Everyone talks about how great she is. I never cared about her. I mean, I'm nothing against her either, other than she was using the name of Marvel's name, and I was already pissed enough that it wasn't the Billy Batson one. Star Fox is an idiot. Screw him. And
I wouldn't have Star Fox either.
Yeah, and I didn't like She-Hulk. So sans them, That's a great Avengers core. In fact,
yeah,
I would put Black Panther in there. I love him as an Avenger.
Yep.
Let's see who else is missing.
Yellow Jacket or
Wonder Man's missing. Well, if that's Scott Lang, Ant-Man, then I want Wonder Man there. I want a Hank Pym there in some fashion as Yellow Jacket, but Yellow Jacket was an a-hole.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But that's pretty much my core Avenger group right there. Oh, get rid of that idiot Quicksilver. I hate him too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you
controversial. I know. Well, no, we need him because Flash. If you're going against,
if you're crossover, you need to have.
Yeah, let me use a different picture to just do Avengers to fix it.
Yeah.
All right.
No Spider-Man.
Huh?
And no
Spider-Man don't belong no damn Avengers.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
You always have to have Cap, obviously, right? Cap's the mainstay, the center of the Avengers. Yep.
Okay, this is pretty much it right here. This is my core Avenger. I don't know. Red Wolf doesn't really. I mean, he's just there because he was in the comic. Rick Jones is wearing bell bottoms. That's kind of funny. It's a serious 70s picture. Yeah. In fact, I didn't even need to look at that other picture. This is my core Avengers right here. Even though Moondragon's a bitch.
Hellcat.
Yeah, Hellcat, she could be there. For sure. Jarvis, Keely Chow, Roll Tide. What's up, buddy?
Black Knight. Yep. I think the worst Avengers lineup of all time, I'm going to say, would be Dr. Druid, and they had Mr. and Mrs. Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman.
Oh,
for a couple of, remember that when they did that for like a couple of issues?
I didn't buy it.
It was like remember, it was in the I think it was 301 or 302 or something.
I remember it in the sense that I remember it, but I didn't buy it. If that's what you mean.
Yeah, I bought it. Yeah, I was like, how the heck do they have just 3 members of the Avengers? Dr. Druid, Mr. Fantastic is. They had left the Fantastic Four and they went to the Avengers for a few issues. So
hey,
crazy.
Gap Stargate, what's up? And then Keely Chow, Roll Tide, good to see you. Where Dad, man, dude, what's wrong with you? What? Miles Morales doesn't belong anywhere near my Marvel universe. But this is pretty much it. But if you obviously can't have all these, so my perfect lineup is Cap, duh, of course.
Yep.
Cap, Iron Man, Thor, Hawkeye, Beast, Wanda. As much as I love Hulk, he's a defender. I mean, he's there because he was in the Avengers very shortly. Vision, of course, though he belongs.
Vision, right? Yeah.
Black Knight, Wonder Man. It should be a big group, They're not the Legion, but they're big. T'Challa. That's my front group. I mean, some of the other ones are fine. Screw Quicksilver. I hate him. I like Swordsman, even though he got killed. But he was a bad guy, but it became good. Mantis was kind of dopey. I never really.
That was a weird storyline with Mantis, but
yeah, Red Wolf was really not in there. He was not really that much of an Avenger. Jeez, he was there, but
yeah, why is he drawn in that picture? Yeah.
I don't know, technically, I guess he sort of was an Avenger, but
yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of funny when you think of these movies. When you think, and Janet, and Janet and Hank belong in the Avengers. I forgot them because they were so tiny in the pictures. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
I didn't know. Yeah, I don't forget Jarvis yet. D-Bud, you're right. The real Jarvis, not some stupid AI. Yeah. I friggin' cannot stand the AI Jarvis. It always aggravated me. I love the first Iron Man movie. I do like some of the early MCU movies. So I deal with it. I don't get upset by it, but I don't like it either. It's like, shut up with that. He was a man. Of course,
well, at least they had Jarvis in the.
I know.
At least they had Jarvis in the past, but I was hoping that you'd end up actually having a real Jarvis too, and naming the AI. It was kind of cool, if there was a real Jarvis, to have both maybe, but it's I was kind of pissed off with it, but maybe they didn't want to have like quote unquote a servant, anymore.
Oh, I don't know. Who knows with these people? And with Justice League, I would have. There's nothing I would change there. I mean, Soups, Bats, Wendy, Flash,
yep,
GL, GA, John, and then add Firestorm and Red Tornado and Aquaman in there, and even that's a weird Zatanna outfit.
Zatanna,
yeah, that's the way I want my Justice League right there. You could add, Hawkman, a few others, but that's
you could roll people in and out too once in a while, but yeah.
Yeah, this is the perfect lineup here for the Teen Titans. But we got off on Perez there because he's just so amazing. But Roy Thomas, also inductee. This man, again, you just can't. There was no point in loading. You have to load a million pictures of all the things he did. His contributions are immeasurable, close to something up there in terms of just sheer volume of things he was involved with and created and started and did or worked for, or concepts, everything. It would just take too long. I mean, he was involved with so much of comics in so many various capacities. It's one of the few on my list. These lists I've been doing, they're still with us, fortunately. And it's just astonishing with this. I mean, this guy he's comics legend.
Oh yeah. Yeah, was he just in the con in Rhode Island, or he was just doing some cons, I think? Or
well, I have my buddy John Shimino, who does his manages for him, brings him around to a lot of cons, and yes, he does a lot of cons.
Yeah,
and still doing them. He's up there. I think he might.
He's 80. He's 81. 81. Yeah, 81 God bless him. Yep. And 81. Yep.
Still doing the cons. And Roy, again, this guy, if he didn't create a character, he was responsible for writing them a lot. For example, if you look at the left side here, did it on purpose. You have your DC stuff. He didn't create any of them, but he definitely wrote them a lot and stuff like that. Of course, was started fan movements and all that stuff, fanzines before you ever wrote comics. And Marvel, he brought Conan to Marvel. He was kind of instrumental in that. He co-created the Vision, Wolverine, Carol Danvers. He I think he just sort of created Red Sonja, really, and Morbius.
He did, yeah.
He was involved as an editor with all, these other characters, Power Man, Iron Fist, and stuff like that, and Doc Samson even, and so many others. Just amazing. And again, what he didn't create, he definitely worked on at some point. He also, loved the Golden Age characters and brought them back. A lot of people who enjoyed All-Star Squadron in the 80s, so. And the resurgence of the JSA and stuff like that, And a guy I worked with a lot, John Buscema, man, I just love him.
Yep, and I was in the chat, I've been saying his name wrong forever. Buscema, I was saying, so it's Buscema.
Oh, really?
Well, you're reading a comic. I mean, what do you? Oh
yeah, I used to say it too, Buscema.
It's like you have no idea. Like when they finally the Thor movie, I'm like, that's how you say Mjolnir, right?
Mjolnir, or whatever. Yeah,
Mjolnir. I was reading it for years. I was like, how do I say this?
Dude, people who made a movie with a character, that idiot Christopher Nolan insisted in Batman Begins on saying Ra's al Ghul the whole time.
Oh yeah, it was horrible.
It's Ra's al Ghul. You jagoff. Talk to somebody at the comics. Jesus, Mr. Gasmask. Oh yeah. Oh, you love the Golden Age Sandman. Excellent. Cool. Wesley Dodds. Cool. He is a great character.
And it's also Dark Side too, right? I mean, Dark Seed. Sorry,
it's Dark Side.
I was trying to say Dark Seed. Yeah, I was on an argument with someone. He's like, it's Dark Seed. I'm like, do you think Jack Kirby's gonna create a character called Dark Seed? What does he throw bad dark seeds at people? It's like, come on.
And yet, as a kid, I thought, is it Dark Seed? I wondered.
Yeah.
And then I heard Kirby say it at some point. I forgot where. But I mean, this man, I know, like I said, he didn't like drawing all these other characters, but look how well he did them. He liked Conan because it was easy.
Nice, yeah.
Buscema. Well, I remember there was an issue of Nova where Sal Buscema, Nova went to the Marvel offices and he met Sal Buscema, and he said, "How do you say?" And he said Buscema, like that.
Okay.
And no, Nova said that, and he said, "You must be Sal Buscema." He goes, "Actually, that's Buscema," and he pronounced it as in Buscema. That's how I know how to.
He spelled it out. Yeah,
right. I know that. Yep. Yeah, from that Marvel comic, that's how I learned to say Buscema, or Buscema if you want, if you Sema. But Buscema, it's not Boo, not Buscema either. He said Buscema. They got H about a D with a. I mean, well, you're here. I mean, the great Eric K with a C. He didn't have a C. He has a K.
Yeah.
When is Mark going to admit he is DC's toy man? I don't know. He can't be.
Don't report me.
Don't report him if you keep it a secret.
Well, I got the transporter working on that Migo bridge, so if they come to get me, I can just transport myself out, I guess. Right?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Clobby, at least voice actor Comic Conroy pronounced correctly Ra's al Ghul, and like, yeah. Well, Everyone did, but the stupid Nolan movie. Roz. No, it's not
the
Roz,
voice was
dummy.
The voice was so bad anyway. You know what they did with the voice, and then Bane's voice. I mean, what an affront.
Severe. My name is Bane. Your punishment will be more severe. I can't understand you, Bane. What? What's your name? Huh?
I mean, when I saw that, it was like, what the? And I guess they'd overdubbed it again because it was even harder to hear the first time. So can you imagine how bad the original was? So, I mean, Chuck Dixon, I can only imagine what happened when you went to see the movie. And Graham Nolan, you know, like in the movie theater.
I hate that movie.
They
anyway.
must have. I hate that movie too. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Nolan trilogy, other than the Dark Knight. The second movie. I really like that.
I love David Warner, and I love Batman animated series, and so yeah, I thought he was a great choice, Kal-El, for that voice. Absolutely. And but yeah, of course, he was more comfortable drawing Conan, and he was one of the top Conan artists, not the first or anything, one of the top ones, so. And yeah, you don't hear much about Jack Cole these days.
No, he's an unknown.
People know about Classic Man.
Yeah.
Oh, you hadn't heard of him?
I mean, I think I've seen the name before, but when you talk about him, it's really cool to hear about all these, this people that started the industry too. So it's really interesting.
Tragic case. It's still a mystery. No one. He and his wife had a fight, and he was drawing for Hugh Hefner, doing a lot of art for Hugh Hefner in Playboy, and he wrote Hugh Hefner a suicide note, a goodbye note thing. So when you read this, I'll be dead. And
oh god.
No, yeah. So no one knows exactly what happened, but he was doing a lot of, he seemed to like what he was doing when he was married to his childhood sweetheart or whatever. It's kind of a mystery. No one really knows exactly what happened to Jack Cole, but man, what just imaginative artist. This guy, look at, again, his panels they're always alive. They're always insane.
Yeah. Wow. Look at that.
The frenetic.
The middle and the right. Yeah.
He just does crazy stuff with his everything, with his layouts and stuff. And then, God, he's great. It was amazing. Let's see here. Gasmask says, okay, everyone here knows the Tiger won, right? I'm not sure what you mean. The Tiger, no, what is that exactly, Mr. Gasmask? Do enlighten us, sir. So Jack Cole.
Oh, yeah. Tiger won tank, maybe? Maybe it could be.
Oh, is it a tank? Okay,
maybe it could be the tank. That's my guess, because the Germans had a Tiger tank.
Oh, okay, because he is.
That's just a guess. Just a guess.
No, he is animating tanks, so that's a good.
He was mentioning tanks before. Yeah, Germans had the best tanks in World War II.
You're welcome.
Much better than the Sherman, except we had 5 Shermans or 10 Shermans, whatever the ratio was to every Tiger tank. So yeah, they were really advanced, potent weapons. Thankfully they didn't have enough of them. So.
I got you. Cool.
Yeah.
He said they're going to be used for. Okay, there. So I guess you probably guessed it then. Yeah, because he animates tanks and stuff. Cool stuff, man.
Yep. Oh yeah, World War II history is real interesting stuff. Yep.
70s. I don't know if Steve's back with your chips. I have some here if you'd like some. That 70s rock fan wants some chips. Everyone, here you go. I'm rattling the bag. See, there you go. Chips for you.
Got to get one of those sound effects which does the ding, and then you say, your fries are done.
There you go. Rattling the bag for you again. And I ate a chip just for you, buddy.
Well, we're going to do the food segment of the show tonight to get everyone hungry.
No. Nope. That was a one-time deal. Let's see here. Next up was C.C. Beck. This man was obviously creator of Captain. And again, I always have to make sure I stipulate for some wise guy goes, well, he didn't do the Captain Marvel Jr. there or the Mary Marvel there. I know he didn't, but they're his characters, more or less. And Mac Rayboy did Captain Marvel Jr. there, Elvis. And there's Mary Marvel, I believe Dick Giordano somewhere. But yeah. I love me some Marvel Family though.
Yep.
He's got someone gave him a Lightning Award there. He was around for a good while too, and he used to write for Comics Journal. He says, Clobby, Martin, who's your favorite DC stretchy guy? Elongated Man or Plastic Man? I'm more on Plastic Man because he's a comedian. I like Ralph Digby. I like Elongated Man. Plastic Man was kind of absorbed by DC. He didn't really start there per se, but yeah. For me, it's Plas, even though I like Elongated Men. And you can't mention the stretchy guys without mentioning Jimmy Olsen's Elastic Lad. And then there's Elastic Girl, but she doesn't really stretch. She's called Elastic. I always wondered why she was called Elastic Girl. Anyway, what about you?
Yeah, I'd probably go with Elongated Man with Dibney, and then they actually had him on the Flash show, and the guy was actually a pretty decent actor. It was kind of a fun character on the Flash. If for those who don't read comics, but then they found some 10-year-old tweets and got rid of them. So unfortunately, be careful what you
tweet.
What you tweet, yeah. And then Sue Dibney was on the show too, and they had this whole storyline going. It looked like it was gonna be pretty interesting. That got nixed. So yeah. But no, you gotta love. Of course, we love Mr. Fantastic on the Marvel side. So Plastic Man was more of a, like you said, more of the the crazy kind of wild character, and Dibney was more of a, wasn't he the detective in the comics, and
yeah.
So it
was goofy, but wasn't
goofy.
Wasn't insane as looking as as Eel O'Brien, aka Plastic Man.
And has anyone ever sold some? How do you say Gingold? Is that the right way to say it?
I don't.
Has anyone ever marketed that?
I don't know the right way to say Gingold, so I would just say Gingold.
Gingold, right?
This works for me.
Yeah, that's a good power. You never have to leave your desk, right? You could just go. Be on YouTube all day.
It's such an insane power as well, because it doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, it's farcical, really, which is kind of fun. It doesn't really, Plastic Man was hilarious on Batman Brave and the Bold. That really handled him really well on there, which I loved.
Yeah, and then was Plastic Man on set the Super Friends a couple of times, or I'm trying to remember.
Yes, he was on one of the earlier episodes of the Super Friends, and then they didn't have him much on. Didn't have him on much after that. I don't think, but then he was on one of them for sure.
Yeah,
real deal Captain Marvel there. And then Denny O'Neil, wow, again,
stuff,
very similar to Roy Thomas in the sense that he was a writer and an editor, and did a whole lot and created a lot of stuff. Of course, I
loved reading his Batman and and those hard hitting heroes up. Green Lantern, Green Arrow,
heroes.
Great stuff.
He did a very interesting stint on as a writer on a lot of different stuff, but as a writer on The Question in the 80s, it was pretty good. Let's see, Mark D. The Flash on CW was completely gone downhill anyway, and the last season was terrible. I checked. Hey, Darius Munchhouse, good to see you, my friend. I checked out of the Flush TV show. Well, let's see. I think
third season. Flashpoint.
Yeah, I started the first season. That's right. The third season, and I was like, Flashpoint Paradox. No, this show's already bad enough. Well, you've got two of them. You guessed two of them for sure, Phantom Outsider, but I'm not going to tell you which two you guessed. Sometime in like February or March, we'll have Wave 2. I mean, Wave. Listen to me, Wave 2, Wave 4. Sorry, but yes, CW shows are.
It was a guilty pleasure with me and my son. My son was, the shows have been on a long time, so we started watching Arrow. I think it was 10 years old or 12 years old. So it was like a thing like, Dad, Arrow's going to be on this week. And then Flash came on. So we started watching the Flash. It was kind of like our thing to watch together. So I've got fond memories of that. But, they did kind of go off the rails. And, everyone became a superhero in the Flash. And, I think some of the actors are good. Grant Gustin, I think, does a really nice job as a Flash. And the repeating doctor that keeps coming back from all the multiverses. I'm kind of forgetting his name now, but he's a good actor and he's fun.
Yeah.
But sometimes it just goes on and on, too long. And of course with the budget they have too, it's not easy too. So I think, we joke, like standing around and talking in halls, but it's a lot cheaper to be doing that too, I guess. So, it is what it is. And you just, if you like it, I checked out of it recently too, but I kind of go back. Oh, I gotta watch it again, and just finish it at least. And once in a while they have some good fun moments. And Gustin is good as the Flash, but it was ridiculous when like everyone had Flash powers. We are Team Flash. It was it was.
Glad I left it.
And Supergirl, we don't want to get into we obviously stay away from politics here, but even before I knew what was going on with in terms of quote unquote politics, it was like they're really doing that. They're going there and banging you over the head with large Marge, as Raquel would say.
Yep.
I mean, I enjoyed part of it. Like Superman was good on the show, and that Superman Lois has been really good. And Stargirl, I'd say, hey, go watch Stargirl. That's been great and very very patriotic with Stripesy. And God, they ended the first season with an American flag and kind of like a really patriotic scene at the end. And I was shocked. I almost fell off the couch. I was like, wow.
I wonder how that happened.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I was totally shocked.
That's weird, huh?
Yeah,
because they usually don't do that sort of thing.
No, it was extremely, yeah.
The Cringe Woke Network.
Yeah, well, that was Warner. That was actually first season was HBO and then they moved to CW. Yep. So,
and finally, in our recap, by the way, the great Bernie Wrightson.
Yep.
Hey there, Tim's Talk. Good to see you, my friend. Real Muslim Uncle, what's up, buddy? You're right, buddy. The real Marvel family indeed. Let's see here. He's just, again, he was a nice dude. And of course, his Swamp Thing is a classic.
Yeah, but I was showing I'm lucky enough to have issues 1 and 2 of that series. So that was his art is just amazing. Especially to redefine Swamp Thing.
Oh God, yeah, that's right. So you have and those are great to have, by the way. It was a masterpiece. It was, again, one of the most acclaimed comics of the early '70s and throughout the Bronze Age, really, and rightly so. It's just terrific.
And it's a tough character to write too. When you think about it, it's not an easy character to tell a good story. You've got to be really talented to. Come up with
you got to be Alan Moore, basically.
Yeah, right.
Because after a while, it exhausts. It's after so much time, and then you make that. I can't believe they let Wes Craven made that crappy movie.
Hey, we had Adrienne Barbeau.
Yeah, that was the best thing about her. She was the two best things about it.
And then we had the new Swamp Thing show that got canceled by HBO.
It was a
Max
second
early.
movie though, and then there was a.
That was with Heather Locklear.
Then there was a TV show on USA. Then there was that recent one that sucked.
Yeah, and I felt bad for the people working on it because they axed it like halfway through. They had to cut it short by like 4 or 5 episodes. So who knows? It would have been better, but you could tell the story was crammed together. And I thought the first few episodes were okay, but usually origin stories are decent to watch anyway because how do you screw that up? But it was really it went off the rails at the end. It was of course Abby Arcane was. We've got the male gaze here.
Boy.
She was gorgeous in the
show. So. She was nice. JT Kirk, what's up, brother? Good to see you, buddy.
JT Kirk, and then they had who was the other? It was the demon character.
They had Blue Devil on there.
Blue Devil, like it. Yeah. Blue Devil was on there. Yeah,
even though they didn't have a costume, just the guy.
The guy from 90210. What was his name?
Ian Ziering or some crap.
Yeah.
But he didn't have the Blue Devil costume. Of course, you can't have that because
But he was trapped in the town. He couldn't leave the town. Yeah.
This is such amazing art.
You could stare at that painting for hours. I mean,
oh, it's just beautiful. I mean, it's just haunting. What a master! It was just a masterwork, and insanely good stuff. Bernie Wrightson was just extraordinary. I remember when this first came out, I bought it was the novel, but it was illustrated by with illustrations by Bernie Wrightson, and it was it was an oversized format paperback, and hardcover and paperback. I have the paperback, still have it somewhere. Yep. And there's this big fancy ass edition that Hunger Boy just mentioned. And our departed buddy Mark C had it and loved it. And he was a Wrightson, big Wrightson fan. And this was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The big change.
They're not fighting each other, right?
Nope. Well, that ending was hilarious. It was so weird to see him do a comic like this, but I remember I couldn't. I think Jim Starlin wrote it, but Wrightson drew it.
Yeah, because that was, wasn't expected, I guess, right?
No, that wasn't expected, nor was this. Bookie, which was a really interesting book.
God, look at that.
Graphic novel.
Look at that guy.
Only Wrightson.
That fits, right? Yeah, only he could come up with a character like that, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Great stuff. So that's the recap, everyone.
Great stuff. Yep.
Yeah, that's our sort of. That was the recap. So again, to sum it up, the 10 new inductees into the Clobberin Times Mark C comic book creator. Not comic book, since it's all comic strips. That's why I left the word comic book and strip out. Okay, let me say it again. Summing up, the 10 new inductees in Wave 3 of Clobberin Times Mark C Comics Hall of Fame: Malcolm Willard Nicholson, Winsor McKay, Hal Foster, George Perez, Roy Thomas, John Buscema, Jack Cole, C.C. Beck, Dennis O'Neill, and Bernie Wrightson. And 10 masters of the comic book form, art, and creation. And we at Clobberin Times salute them in the name of our wonderful, great buddy, Mark C., who loved comics and loved the art form so much, and he loved a lot of these creators. So, yeah.
Yep. Great stuff. Great list. Yep. Well done. Yep. Well, you did a nice job with your presentation. You were saying your presentation wasn't going to be that good, but I think it was pretty awesome.
Well, you're too kind. I know it was terrible, but it got the job done. That's all that matters. There was what was it? Now, see, it's no longer a mystery. And for those who came here later, the first wave again, the great Jack Kirby, the great Steve Ditko, the great Gil Kane. I'm going to say great every time, folks, because they're all great. The great Will Eisner, the great Alex Rabin, the great Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. They were greats together, of course, and separate. The great Bill Finger, the great Joe Kubert, and the great Julius Schwartz. The great Neil Adams, Wave 2, the great Neil Adams. The great Bill Everett, the great Joe Simon, the great Kurt Swan, the great John Romita Sr., the great Bern Hogarth, the great Gardner Fox, the great Wallace Wood, the great Harvey Kurtzman, and the great God of Olympus, Alan Moore. Now these 10 august gentlemen join their extraordinary ranks in the Clobberin Times Mark C Comics Creator Hall of Fame. Oh, thank you. You're too kind, Mr. That 70s, everyone. Thank you.
Great
thank you
stuff,
so much.
Yep.
Appreciate you being here. And now we have time to goof off like we were doing that already.
All right, the food segment. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much, Hungry Boy. You were too kind, my friend. I appreciate all the comments that you left too. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and spoiler the next list, the next one, and tell you who's not in it. No, that would take too long. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Stanley.
Yep. Oh, look, there's Stanley right there. How do you get there? I can't imagine how Stanley got there. What happened? There
He
you go.
put himself in.
There's the revised list. See, Stanley tried to take a post in that list. How'd that happen? What did you do? How did you do that, Mark?
That was magic. I was talking to Zatanna tonight. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Spider-Man's coming out on Thursday, so I'll be seeing that Thursday at 4. That's the big comic book pop culture news, I guess, this week. What is it? No Way Home, so we'll see.
By the way, I should confess to everyone before you continue with that. Yeah, CC Beck was the last minute when I had Stanley on there. Then I decided I couldn't. It would be very disingenuous for me to put Stanley on there until I'm able to come to terms with a lot of my problems I have with him personally. This is a personal list. I am the only voter after all. So, I had to go with people that I Stan will get on there, but I wanted to wait till Wave 4 for that. Wave 4, I will suck it up and put him on. And I made a list. I had him ready to go on there, and I decided, you know what? I want to put some people. I want to show love to some people who that I'm not angry with, for one thing. So,
yep.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's your list, right? Yeah. So.
Yeah.
You're not suppressing any votes. Yep.
I was going to do it.
You're almost there. Yep.
I almost did it. Who is the Walter White look-alike in the top left? Oh, that's Dennis O'Neill. Denny O'Neill.
Yep.
Yes. Hungry Boy, Coletta won't be there. So you were saying about yes, Spider-Man something to do with his home again, because
No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Yeah.
It's always home with this. What is the home thing? Comes out
nice if we had Spider-Man in Queens again, but other than that.
Yep. So Spider-Man something or other at home.
Yep, with Doctor Strange out. These aren't spoilers if you've seen the trailers. So we know Doctor Strange is in it, but the big rumor is whether or not the other Spidey men are going to be in it. Tobey Maguire
at the same time, I think.
Well, we're in different time zones, though, right? So I'm at 4 o'clock Eastern. You're going? Are you in the same time zone?
3 o'clock Central.
3 o'clock Central. Okay. Yeah.
Same time.
Same time, right? Same bat channel.
Mm-hmm. Now, my theater will have 4,000 commercials, so it'll really start like 3:30 probably.
Yeah, we get the same thing here too. So the nice thing is you can leave for the movie at the time that it starts, and then you get there, it's just starting. Yep.
Yep. Although I don't trust that though. I don't trust it, because every time I go to a movie way ahead of time and think, oh yeah. Of course, with assigned seating, at least no one can take you.
That's the good thing now.
That's a good thing to reserve a seat. Nevertheless, somebody still might sit in it, but you go, hey, that's my seat. About it. But anyway, you go, oh, look how early I am. Wow. I'm 20 minutes early. Well, that means you're going to wait an hour to watch a damn movie.
So I like previews. Like I do like.
I don't like them anymore because you can watch them online now.
Yeah, that's true. But I used to love the previews, like the 2 or 3 previews, right? The other problem is the previews are too damn long. It's like, give me a 30-second, trailer. That's what I want. I don't want a 2-minute trailer. It's like I don't need to go see the movie now. So it's like, what's going on? And I've been hearing it's sold out in a lot of places. I don't know your theater. Were saying wasn't sold out.
So far, it's not real.
Let me check my movie theaters. Of course, they used to have like 20 theaters, 20 screens open at the same place. Let's see what Spidey's doing.
Stuart Mitchell says Spider-Man audiences stay at home.
I think this is going to do pretty well. I'm going to predict it's going to do better than West Side Story again. You see, West Side Story only did $10 million. The new musical, of course, you know.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's a classic, but they redid it. It's a remake, but plus, I mean, and as much as you know, people are sick of quote unquote sick of, you know, they want to see other movies, but it's you know, is West Side Story gonna, you know, light up the box office? I mean,
no.
It's a Broadway musical. I mean, it's one of the all-time greats, but I mean, who even knows that? That's when did that West Side Story come out? Was that 60s or was that 70s? The original
60s, 50s, 60s, something. I don't know.
And it's old, right?
Robert Wise directed that. The guy who directed the Andromeda Strain and Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
So this is Spielberg, I guess. Yep.
You know, remakes just make me sick. I said, what are you doing with the remakes? If they included Koof in the MCU, they would have Spider-Man stuck at home. Mr. Gas Mask for the win.
But Spider-Man is always wearing a mask,
home. I like that. And Stuart Mitchell says Spider-Man audiences stay at home. Yeah, there you go.
The Eternals are still playing in my theater? No way. The Eternals are still playing. Wow. I'm shocked. I can't believe it. You know, I thought they'd be out of theaters.
Yes,
that was disappointing.
Spielberg. Yeah, Eternals. There's no way Eternals could still be at a theater.
Yeah, it's still playing. Yeah.
Wow.
Let's see. Let me change the date here. Let's see. Get tickets to Spidey. No Way Home. Unlock secrets to the multiverse. Let's see here. Let's see if it's any seats left. Oh, all the seats are gone.
You got yours.
Oh, they added a you have to wear your Spider-Man mask at all times unless you're actively enjoying food and drinks. They changed the rules.
Oh my God.
So I'm gonna have to be eating the popcorn the whole time. I better not run out of popcorn.
Oh, stupid.
Well, we're not doctors here, right? We're just gonna. Yeah, so that's sold out on, but there's not as many. Normally they have like 5. This is a multiplex. Normally they had like, you know, 8 theaters, you know, going at the same, like every movie in the place would have been Spider-Man, but they're just they're only showing you know, everything is totally booked now. Wow.
Yeah, we do have some. Well, I don't know if you can call it good comics news yet. Let me find it.
What's that?
Let's see. I got a file. I'll pull it up.
Pull it up. Yep.
That's wrong. Yeah. Okay. Let me. So anyway, people are. Someone. I think Mr. Gasmask said something about this movie might set up Galactus for the MCU. Maybe Galactus, probably a her. Probably Galactus will be a she. Probably.
So what's? Oh, and they think that might happen in this movie?
That's what he said. I said it might set him up, but set her up. Probably Galactus is probably going to be a chick. So.
Oh, come on.
I'm
really?
kidding about that. I'm just saying.
Just come on. I'm going
to
throw my popcorn at the screen.
Would you doubt that?
Do that?
Come on.
You got to have a guy as a destroyer of worlds anyway, right? You can't have a woman do that.
Well, you would think,
right?
You would think, but dude, I don't know. Okay. For fans of the Fantastic Four, good night, Gap Stargate. Good to see you there. Fans of the Fantastic Four, beware, because this is going to be bad. It's gonna be real bad. Not this. I'm talking about the MCU. This might be good though.
I think this will be good. I didn't really like the last movie that much.
No. I'm talking about
the last Spider-Man.
What I'm about to show you about the Fantastic Four. I'm talking about
okay.
The Fantastic Four announcement. People think that's looming, but go ahead. You're saying what's fan?
Well, the last Spider-Man movie, I don't know, was just missing something. It doesn't feel like Spider-Man to me. I think the actor's good.
Oh, I don't like the costumes. Spider-Man.
Costumes decent, but just it just doesn't fit. He's got to be on his own struggling and not have Tony Stark as a backup. You know, it's one thing for like Stark to have recruited him for that one mission. That was such a cool scene, but it kind of ruined the character, I think, in some ways, because Spider-Man has all this, you know, multi-billion-dollar gear and backup and tech. You got those glasses that do everything, and you know, part of the fun of Peter Parker was you could relate to him as a outcast, nerd, geek. You know, jocks were picking on him, and you know, he's the bookworm, and especially the way he's drawn when he's, you know, his origin with the glasses, and he's wearing the sweater. You know, it looks like he's kind of the kid that would get picked on, and you really related to him, and you really loved the story when he gets these powers. And you know, the first time he, you know, he's walking across the street and he's not paying attention, and he jumps up and finds himself on the side of a building, you know, 3 stories up, saying, "What the heck just happened?" And you know. And he's always fighting, like he's, you know, all right, he's got a supermodel girlfriend, but you know, he's never has enough money. You know, everything is hard for him. So by what they did in the, you know, the MCU, as much as you know, it's cool. He's got that Spidey suit with the, you know, the armored Spidey suit and stuff, but it's just not Spidey. If you had done that, you know, down the road as like a one-off thing, like a special thing, you know, they're fighting Thanos and Tony Stark threw him that suit, you know, and you know, like for the last battle kind of thing. But we kind of missed that whole development of Spider-Man in the MCU. We got a little bit of it in, you know, the first movie. But I don't know how you feel about that too, Clobby. But you don't really like the MCU Spider-Man too, as you're saying.
No, I don't like the MCU Spider-Man at all. Really, there. What's that? Culture. Well, hello to Culture. He's not here, but I think that's an ad for him there. Eric,
yep.
A lot.
Subscribe to Culture. Yep.
Yeah.
Great
Culture,
show. Great show.
Cool
yep.
Dude, yeah. So you know, actually, D-Bud. D-Bud says, I don't want to tell Clobby what they said about possible thing casting and thing casting on Midnight Edge. Look, I hope it's the worst casting you could imagine, because that movie's dead on arrival to me anyway. They're not going to cast it right. Don't worry about that, Eric. I'm no problem there, bro. You didn't do anything bad. We like
leave it. No,
we like
Culture's great. Yeah.
Anyway, it's crap. It's going to be garbage no matter what. So I hope it's the worst casting, so I can laugh my ass off. We already know they're not going to cast this thing correctly.
Shaq gonna be the thing?
Hey, Eric, no big deal, brother.
I was on Midnight's Edge last after dark the other night. I was listening to both channels, and I started posting it in the wrong chat the other night. I was like,
I don't have. When I wrench for Polly, I do that all the time.
Yeah. I'm like, they must have been like, what the hell is Mark writing here? What this has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
I do it all the time, Eric. Well, I don't wrench as much as you do, but I mean, when I wrench for Polly, I've done it many times. I'm going, oops, because I was listening to something else being bad, and like, oh, there I am. But they're going to cast this thing so horribly anyway. I hope it is really stupid casting. I hope they cast Whoopi Goldberg as Ben Grimm so I can laugh at him. I don't give a shit what they do with this movie.
But Jamie Belk was bad enough. Right?
This is Kevin Feige, the Feige face. It's not going to be any good anyway. He doesn't know what he's doing. The MCU is trash now. Trash. And look, don't get me wrong. This new movie might be okay. I haven't liked any of their Spider-Man stuff so far. We're seeing some other things in it. I might enjoy it. I'm going to try. But for the most part, I've not enjoyed the MCU for any of the shit they're doing right now. So screw them. But here's something. I'm just now seeing this. It looks interesting, but I don't know the article yet. I hate Bleeding Cool, but it's on Bleeding Cool. I'll have to put up with this way. So we'll all see this together. Fantastic Four. Let's see here. Alex Ross to publish first graphic novel, Fantastic Four Full Circle. You might want to keep. Oh, no, let me. I gotta make it bigger. There. I can't see that thing.
What's his first graphic novel? Wow. Oh, they're going back to the 80s. Wow, nice.
I'm almost looking forward to this, but I'm gonna guard my optimism. Spammer. All right, here we go. What? Why? Why are you? What is it doing?
What's happening? Oh, you can't get it big, or
what is this bullshit on the side here? I can't get the whole
because that's because when you made it big enough, you got to run an ad blocker on your website, but
I can see
just
that.
go back one more.
I can see it.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Okay.
Go one more. Come up one more. You can.
I can see it. That's good.
There you go.
You might want to keep an eye. This up and comer. An eye. This up and comer. I don't know what that means. Bleeding Cool's trash. Anyway,
don't proofread. Yeah.
Yeah. Alex Ross will publish his very first graphic novel at Abrams Comics Arts. That's a shitty name, Abrams. But well, there may be fine people named Abrams. You know what I'm saying? I just hate Jar Jar. In collaboration with Marvel Comics this August, Fantastic Four: Full Circle is the first graphic novel written and illustrated by renowned comic artist Alex Ross in his 30-plus year career, according to a press release. The book will come in the dimensions of the 1980s Marvel graphic novel line. Oh, that's good. The retail price for the hardcover will be $24.99. That's okay, maybe
not bad.
In addition to being Ross's first graphic novel, Abrams bills it as the first graphic novel ever licensed to Marvel. Licensed by Marvel to another publisher, and will kick off Marvel Arts' line of similar projects at Abrams. I've been thinking this is going to happen for a while now. Them farming out stuff and getting away from their shitty, no-selling crap monthly comics. Anyway,
that's the first time they've done that.
Abrams
wow.
Has more detail. Yep. Has more details on the production of release of Fantastic Four: Full Circle. The book's large format breaks from the standard graphic novel size to showcase Ross's art, mirroring the format of the Marvel graphic novel, a line of books from the 1980s. Real graphic novels, not trade paperbacks being called graphic novels, by the way.
Yeah.
And includes a full-color, fold-out poster featuring an all-new, fully painted origin of the Fantastic Four. Wow. Fantastic Four: Full Circle was acquired and will be edited by Ross's longtime editor, Charles Kochman, editorial director of Abrams Comics Arts, alongside Marvel VP of Publishing, jackass Tom Brevoortface, who actually has a good blog. I got to give him credit. This blog about when he just talks about comics, old comics, is pretty good. As for the story, it's a rainy night in Manhattan, and not a creature is stirring except for Ben Grimm, when an intruder suddenly appears inside the Baxter Building. The Fantastic Four, Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, the Invisible Woman, we know who they are, Jesus Christ, find themselves surrounded by a swarm of invading parasites. They're called Marvel Comics editors. I'm sorry. These carrion creatures composed of negative energy come to Earth using a human host as a delivery system. But for what purpose? And who is behind this untimely invasion? The Fantastic Four have no choice but to journey into the negative zone. And they go into the negative zone, folks, for those who don't know, and they go, man, this really sucks. I can't stand it. Everything's a man,
that'd be so negative, man.
Yeah, so negative as downers here, man. An alien universe composed entirely of antimatter. Yeah, we know. Don't tell it. Here's what Ross has to say about making his graphic novel debut. This is the Fantastic Four story I've been wanting to tell for years, and visually, it is one of the greatest artistic experiments I have attempted. I'm excited to share this work with everyone, and it unites the two great publishing forces. Well, they're not really that. Okay, yeah, you're not. Yeah. This kid is really going to make something of himself. Fantastic Four: Full Circle will be August 2022, August 2nd. Well, I don't know. We'll have nice art. That's for sure.
Alex Ross is awesome. So we'll see what the story of the new Thing miniseries. We didn't like that first issue with the direction they're taking. Of course, is some evil false force called, was it Mar or Malv or whatever the heck it was, controlling everyone. To they did give the character a name. I can't remember, but so we'll see what happens in the next few issues. But it was really a very negative opening, but that looks really cool. And God, Alex Ross is fantastic. Yeah.
So,
and that's gonna be oversized too, because it's like the 70s graphic novel, so it'll be decent 80s graphic novels. That was oversized from a comic book, if I remember.
Yep, good. And it is. Yes, it's sort of in between it's sort of close to an 8.5 by 11 magazine form, a little bigger than that, but like a magazine type stuff. But look, hey, if it's Ross and they look like the real FF, and it looked like it takes place out of any idiotic Marvel continuity and any of that kind of stuff, I'm there. I will have it.
Yeah,
I hope. So yeah, looking forward to it. No, even if the story's no good, you'll have a lot of pretty pictures of the FF looking at what they're supposed to. You saw that art there, so
no, it looks great. Good.
Edit K says, Clobby Mark, think about this for next week. What's your favorite comic and cartoon Christmas special? Well, it's funny you mentioned that.
Oh,
cool. Loki and I at some I think next week, I'm not exactly sure when, we're going to be reviewing 3 we've been reviewing a DC animated thing every month, and we're going to do a Christmas one. We're going to review 3 different Christmas episodes of things. Batman animated series, Christmas with the Joker.
Oh yeah, great one.
The Justice League animated series, and thank you for that, by the way, Eric. Comfort and Joy. And Batman, Brave and the Bold, Invasion of the Secret Santas, which is a Christmas episode, of course. So I'm not sure if there's any other ones we know of.
Did Spider-Man 66 have a Christmas, anything Christmas? Or I'm just remembering, they had something, they had one that was a Blizzard episode, but yeah, it wasn't necessarily a Christmas one. They did have like a Blizzard that I'm just, it's been I've rewatched that, but it's been a while. I'm just trying to remember.
As for comics, I don't know. That would be a different story. So maybe, I don't know, maybe next Monday, Eric, I'll it's a good idea. Maybe I'll try to see if I could come up with if I could put together a theme for next Monday for Christmas related comics. We'll do that, man. But
that's a good one, yeah.
The cartoon one will be the one Loki and I are doing. But for comics, and Mark, if you can think of any, if you want to participate in something like that, we can give them a production of Christmas related comics. If you're inclined to, if you got nothing else to do next Monday night.
No, where else would I be? Come on, I mean, if I'm not on the show, I'd be watching it, right? So,
well, appreciate that, bro.
I got scout meeting Monday night, 7:30 to 9, and then we got Clobberin times on Monday night. So yep.
Oh, cool. Appreciate that.
A lot of fun. Yep.
Thanks, man. Well, so
it's not like I watch Monday Night Football anymore. So
I can't. I don't have ESPN anymore. So yeah. Did Star Trek Transformers ever do a Christmas comic? I don't know, JT Kirk. Good idea, Eric K. By the way, I was toying with the answer because I know a week from Thursday we're gonna do a special. No Global Geek Gang this Thursday, folks. But we will do a special week from this Thursday, like a Christmas gathering, like Christmas with the superheroes sort of thingy. Let's see. But this Wednesday, tomorrow night, I will be on. With and so will Mark. By the way, we will be on with the great Nick Weiser. Yep. Toxic Tuesday, reviewing Die Hard 2, Electric Boogaloo. Nope, Die Harder. And let's see. Wednesday night I'll be back here, probably doing nothing in particular. And Thursday night back here again with Raquel and Mark for Clobby's Clubhouse.
Yep.
And I will have the spinner rack videos both done in time. I haven't worked on them yet, but I got to work on those. And I got another video coming out that I finished. I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to schedule it. And so Mark has videos and streams as well. He does the stream on Sunday Night Geekery.
Thank you. Yep. Thank you for being there, and thank you for watching. And a lot of the same people in the chat, so appreciate that. We broke out the Mego Star Trek Enterprise bridge.
Last night.
Last time was fun. Yep.
And what, you got some videos coming up?
Yeah, I always try to get a couple of videos out a week. So grab some of the toys from the attic, and especially now the holidays are here. So if I see some enabling stuff or some deals, I'll try to post those. So always trying to get people to spend money. So there's always some great stuff coming. I mean, we joke about, the state of sometimes, current state of some of the properties you love. But if you're a collector, there's some unbelievable action figures and toys and, Hasbro stuff. I know, Retro Blasting was here before. They didn't fund that, the HasLab from Empire, the creature.
From Jedi, the Rancor, right?
Did not get funded.
Well, way to go, Retro. I mean, I know what he didn't do it. He just, and the people try to blame crap on him all the time, but
the fans,
he's so
fans
right about
speak.
that stuff. He's so right about that stuff.
Well, and the stretch goals were abysmal on the thing too. So if you're paying $400, it's like not to have the Rancor keeper and the other character, you want to have rare characters as a stretch goal. So at least Galactus, they had some, they had Frankie Ray, and I think they had a couple other characters that rare characters. That's what you want, and and of course the whole idea does stink. I agree with.
All right, 70s. Take it easy, buddy.
Take care of 70s. Yep. And Kyle, no, I did not get the Playmobil. It's actually been Enterprise has been 10% off. If I buy something like that before the holidays, I don't think there's much of a chance I'm going to get it as a gift. But you always got to wait. Like if something like that shows up, oh look what I bought for myself before Christmas.
I think Michael got that.
Oh, you did get that? Yeah.
I think I don't know. Michael Roger Blasting.
I'm sure he's there,
buddy. But the Playmobil thing, I think he did. I can't remember. I think.
What's his address? I'm just kidding.
I'm already planning to steal it from.
Yeah, that thing is gorgeous. I mean, that's so much fun too. And they've got a lot of other IP too. So they've got the Ghostbusters. There's like a Ghostbusters, firehouse / station. Take care of 70s. Yep.
Yeah.
And there's some great. They've got the A-Team van. They've got. James Bond, Aston Martin. I mean, so they've been purchasing the IP, and I love putting the Legos together. But you can buy these things, and you don't have to put them together, which is fun too. So that's great. Yep.
Oliver says, Mark D, you've seen Static Shock cartoon. The episode Frozen Out is a good Christmas special. Okay. Static is sympathetic with the metahuman girl. I haven't seen that myself there, Oliver.
No, but I'll definitely check it out. Good suggestion. Yeah.
I don't think I know
that cartoon is really popular. So I'll check it out.
I've seen some of them. I think I watched some of the Superman ones or whatever. I don't know. But Superman was on a couple of them. Wasn't Batman on one?
It's been a while since I've seen those, but he would cross over. I'm sure they would have him cross over.
I know. I'm pretty sure.
I'm going to make a note of that. And I'll look it up.
Superman was on one of them. Maybe Batman.
The problem is, I was going to say real quick. Well, the HBO Max, when we had the DC Comics / video service, they had like all the comics were on there and all the cartoon videos, and then most of them have been pulled from when they went to the new service. So that was a great service to have, where you can someone mentioned something like, oh, let me go watch the cartoon, and you have the sub and you just watch it, but. It's it's a shame. So hopefully they'll keep adding some more of those series back. I'll go check to see if it's on HBO Max. Yep.
Coolness.
And D-Bud never. Oh, sorry. D-Bud never told us who was going to be cast as the Thing. I guess. Yeah. We want to sleep well tonight.
Oh, it's probably someone. It's probably Seth Rogen or some crap like that. He was probably because someone else said something about that today.
Oh God.
And I'm like, I hope so. Oh, believe me, I hope it's Whoopi Goldberg. I hope it's the most unbelievably dumb, ludicrous casting it could possibly be. Because let me tell you something about that FF casting. You had to wound me up, didn't you?
Sorry.
Reed will either be. Now Reed they're going to need someone to blame everything on the white patriarchy dumbass. So it'll be Reed. Will be a white male.
Yeah.
So, even though, although he might be. They can't blame everything on a black male necessarily, but they did with Kang, and Kang's descended from him, so Reed would probably be black. Sue will be black, but they'll flip it. Sue will be black. Reed will be. He's got to be black because of Kang. So they'll flip Johnny back to white but gay, and Ben will be a trans woman, or Seth Rogen, which is the same thing. So it'll be something like that.
Well, Seth Rogen just had that fantastic Christmas special.
Let me tell you what else they're going to do.
Really,
oh yeah,
honored Christmas and tradition. Yep.
Here's what else they're going to do. They're going to start them out almost immediately with the kids, but it won't with a kid, and it won't be Franklin. It'll be Valeria. She'll be the non-binary, and she'll be the leader of the group. She'll be the smartest. Sue will be the smart one. Sue will be a scientist, and she'll be smart. And Valeria will be also like an 8-year-old genius
Yep.
And Johnny and will be an idiot. Well, they can't make a gay character an idiot, though. Oh, they might do it anyway, but I don't know. Johnny will be just gay and just there, use his powers and not have much personality. And Reed will be the cause of all the problems, even though he'll be a black male. So I'm pretty much sure that's how it's all going to go.
Not going to go well. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. And they're not going to get and that's doesn't matter. The casting shouldn't be what they're focused on. It should be on just telling a good story and making people love the FF. And there's a reason why it was, the world's greatest comic magazine and it saved Marvel. Marvel probably would have gone under if it wasn't for the FF. So,
well, of course,
if they had, exactly right.
Hungry Boy,
Seth Rogen got.
Seth Rogen. Did you ever see the 40-Year-Old Virgin? You ever see that movie?
Oh yeah. Yep.
There's a scene with Seth Rogen and Paul Rudd that if that, how people are always getting canceled for shit that they tweeted or movies that are crap that they said 10 years ago. Well, that was well over 10 years ago, but he would get this is a scene, and I'm not going to even repeat it because we get in trouble.
Can't.
There's a scene where they're using slurs at each other. They're making jokes about a certain thing. That pretty much you'd think would get them both canceled today. You know what scene I'm talking about? Where they're saying they're not like saying a bad word, but they're making fun of each other, calling each other quote unquote gay.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah,
and they were making fun of it, making jokes about it. So I thought that movie was kind of funny. I like the movie Paul.
Oh, with the alien, the guy's the alien.
I like that.
Because that was funny. Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't have to look at Seth Rogen in that. It's just a stupid voice.
Yeah.
So I wonder how he doesn't get canceled for all the crap back when Seth Rogen used to say offensive shit.
Well, look at all the people that did.
Yes, Green Hornet.
That did blackface that were Hollywood stars and got into trouble recently. Well, they did recently get into trouble, but we don't want to probably talk about that stuff too much. But
we're about to get out of here. We're finally going to get out of here, folks. But,
sorry about that. Yep.
Don't be sorry about it. It was my fault for going. You had to get me started on the FF.
I got you riled up. Yep.
Who got me riled up on the FF? Was that D-Bud doing that again? Damn it,
D-Bud. Yeah, I'll send you some antacid.
Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate it. You have been fantastic. Hungry Boy, my brother, thank you so much, bud. Appreciate you. The great Steve Mitchum. The lovely, wonderful, beautiful Sherry. Thank you. I hope you're doing better, my dear. Kal-El, buddy. Thank you. Phantom Outsider, buddy. J.T. Kirk of Mr. Gas Mask Animations. The great Eric K. Bronze Wrencher and the great Chris Persia. Thank you so much. Stuart Mitchell. Dolly had braces. Who else was here? Hope I don't want to miss anybody. Canadian Spidey does whatever a Canadian Spidey can, my brother. That 70 show was here earlier. The Comic Relief Crusader. Thank you so much. Oliver Belamonte. Thank you. I'm backtracking, see if I miss anybody. I'm hoping I don't miss anyone. If I miss anyone, you all know I'm senile and old. Don't take it personally. Catman, aka Didi Myers, thank you so much for being here, my friend. I hope you were doing well. Think I missed anyone? I know I had to miss somebody.
What's really bad is when you start mentioning names and I forget who you've mentioned. So I'm trying to remember, what did you mention?
I'm terrible with it.
But yeah, just always love to say goodnight, everyone. If we missed anyone, it's not on purpose. Yep. But
no, believe me, I don't remember what I just said 2 seconds ago. So if I miss you, just know that I'm old and senile and forget stuff. So, but thank you so much, everyone, and we'll be here. I'll be back. Again tomorrow night on Nick's channel and out there into streaming and stuff. And of course, Wednesday night, come hang out with me. We'll just talk, you and me. I may not even have a topic. I don't even know. So far, I don't. So take care, everyone. Thank you so much. And again, as always, big shout out to the great Stone Loki for this wonderful intro outro. Clobber on, clobberers. Darius Munchausen. I knew I missed somebody. Darius.